if you notice when you get inside Secrets Masterclass, right, what it does not do is it does not say open ClickFunnels and start building stuff. The first thing that it does is it has you go through, right, and this is the way I structured it so that you would go through and figure out, right, what your new opportunity actually is, you know, how you become the attractive character, how you actually develop a cause. And so that when you actually start building this stuff, right, when you actually open ClickFunnels, you know the map that you're moving towards on. Most people build funnels like this. And this is how I used to build funnels as well. My first funnel I personally ever built was probably about a year before I ever started working at ClickFunnels. And I first started with my funnel, right? And I was like, sweet, I want to go build a funnel. So I actually started putting the funnel together and I built the funnel. And then I remember I got to this spot where I had a place for my video. I had a place for the headline, and I just kind of built out this template, right? And I was like, sweet, now let's fill in the gaps. And to me, it was a logical way to do it. And so what I did is I took out a camera, right? And I started filming and I started putting the sales videos together. And I started diving deeply into watching other people's sales videos, and I transcribed them by hand. So it stuck in my mind. And I started going piece by piece by piece, all the way through all the pieces that I needed to. And what was really, really fascinating about it, right? I learned a lot about script writing during just that one exercise, launching that one single product. And then I went and I put the different pieces in there for the sales videos. This was after I made the product, which took me a while as well. And then I finally got it to this place where I was like, cool, it's ready. Let's launch. And nothing happened. And I was like, what does that mean to launch? I don't even know what that means to launch, right? There's no one for me to launch to. I had not spent any time actually coming up with or building any pressure towards an audience who needed to see this thing, needed to see this message. No one, right? I hadn't spent any time doing it. And so the issue was that I was like, hey, I'm ready to launch, but no one saw it, right? And so literally for about 3 months, there were no sales that came in. And I was like, what the heck is going on? How come people don't know this is such a big deal? All right. I wasn't driving traffic. I wasn't, I was telling people on Facebook. That was it. Telling people on Facebook, a few people, here and there. And that was it. And that's how I did everything. And it was frustrating for me because I looked back and I was like, crap, like what is the big issue? Why don't people get it? This product's freaking incredible, right? I knew it was amazing. I knew I was the only one selling it. I knew it was funnel hacking, but it was also a new opportunity, which we hadn't really distilled into the book Expert Secrets yet, right? At that time. And so there's a lot of issues that started popping up from that. And so one day this guy, and a lot of you guys have heard the story, but one day this guy reached out to me and he goes, dude, how come you're not selling more of this? This is incredible. And I was like, oh, I'm trying to, but no one's buying it. And he's like, oh man. And I started pushing it harder. And then suddenly that was the asset that started making $1,000 a week with no ad spend for about a year. It pulled over 50 grand and, selling off that same product. And what was interesting is the way I was selling it changed drastically. The actual sales message, where I was selling it, how I was packaging it up, the way it was still the same product, but it was the way I was delivering it, the way the sales message was happening. And that's where all these ahas started happening. I was like, what? Like, okay, I that's like a funnel audible, right? It's a funnel audible. And so I want to stop you guys from one of the things that I get nervous about when I have a whole bonus section in Secrets Masterclass it's called live funnel builds, right? And one of the things that makes me nervous about putting that in there, and made me nervous the first time I put it in, and I was still nervous to have it in there, but one of the reasons it made me nervous is because I feel like some people get distracted on the consumption of content. They get distracted by it. So they consume and they consume and they consume and they consume. And then they start to confuse action with achievement. And it's not the same thing at all. And so they sit back and they're like, oh, this is good. This, I'm consuming. I'm learning. Therefore, I'm achieving. And that's not true at all. The game is more about you learning for intent, learning to place the next step, learning to put the next step down where you need it to be. Just boom, step by step by step by step. And that's how the game is won, because there's too much stuff to learn, which is why purposefully, I do not learn Facebook ads. I don't want to know them. I don't learn a lot of different traffic sources. The traffic source I marry is the Dream 100 because there's so much content out there. And so, and that's the one that has more longevity and higher leverage activity for me to go master. You know what I mean? And so what I want to do is I want to walk through real quick the process that it takes to actually understand what you need in order to actually launch your stuff and actually get to the funnel building place. So the very first thing you got to understand and learn is similar to what I was talking about at Funnel Hacking Live, is that of what is at the actual core of a funnel. Okay, the core of a funnel is really, it took a long time. I just did a podcast episode about this. It took a long time for me to understand this, but at the core of funnel building itself, right, is the core of the funnel is the offer and the message, right? That's really it. I want to walk through real quick, and in fact, I got the slides here, and I can share my screen. Let me share my screen here, and I'm gonna share with you this PowerPoint because I want you to know this, and because this is really the overall top level map of where we're taking this group and why it matters so much. Okay. So I'll start. I'm just gonna start it here like halfway through. Let me share my screen here real fast. You get this over here. Boom. Okay. So, right. I started with this question of how can I make money? And, you guys can see this screen, can't you? Oh, that's kind of funny. Sweet. There we go. I started with this question of mine, and the question of mine was, look, how do I make money online? And, I told you guys, a lot of you guys know the story as well, that I was laying down during a military exercise, right, with my M16 in my right hand and my for 10 days in the dirt, and .com Secrets on my left hand, and that's how I read the book. And it was so trashed by the end that I had to go get a new copy of it because there's so much dirt in the binding. But I went and I started reading this, and the message from .com Secrets is go funnel hack somebody. Don't have no take out all guesswork and just model what's working. You're like, cool, that makes sense, right? But then you go read something like Expert Secrets, and the message is go create something brand new, something that's never been done before, a brand new niche. And you're like, what? Right? How's that work? So the answer is to do first step number 1, funnel hack, and then step number 2, create something new. And as you're creating, a caveat I want to put in on this is from one of my new favorite books, also from, I don't know if I'm going to find it fast enough. It's called The Innovator's Dilemma. Looking at my bookshelves. I don't think I have it near me right now. I think it's on the other. I need to build another bookshelf soon. Anyway, anyway, in The Innovator's Dilemma, it talks about how since the market, if you're trying to create something that's disruptive, right? The problem is that since it does not exist, you cannot analyze it. Therefore, when you make a product that is meant for disrupting things, right? Like a new opportunity. The problem is that if you do it without the customer, you will do it based on your own precepts. Okay. And what that does is it makes it so that you will not, in fact, actually be creating. That is another way to create an improvement-based offer. So when you are creating something new, right, you must do it in a way that allows the customer to give you feedback repeatedly, so that you are adjusting based on what they're saying. You're adjusting based on what they're still struggling with. You're adjusting based on the good and the bad. And what you're able to do is create this thing from the ground up with the customer, and they will help you discover the new niche. Okay. That's really when my webinar started exploding. I knew that when I had finally created everything with the customer, that I had found the niche with them. Right. And it was this other safety net. I want to discuss a few of the safety nets and ways to make sure that you're not going to die in this game and help hedge yourself against any kind of risk. But that's one of the ways, though. So number 1, it's like Dorothy and the Yellow Brick Road. You're following that road as far as it goes. And then when the Yellow Brick Road stops, right, then you start applying Expert Secrets and you create another brick. Right. So you follow it as long as you can. And you're creating more road when the road stopped, so that you're creating new opportunity. But you got to do it with the people who are still on the road. You got to do it with the people, right? Not people on a different road. You're not going to a new market. You're not asking relatives. You're not asking friends. You're not asking, right? Unless they're your prospective buyers, you're not asking them, right? Because you're not filling your own wallet. That your friends and family are not the ones filling your own wallet. So don't ask them what their opinions are. You have to ask the people that you are stemming directly out of. You must ask that submarket directly out. Does that make sense? So anyway, so you got to understand that. So what I want to do real quick is I want to walk through the 2 different phases here. Step number 1, funnel hack. Step number 2, create something new, and show you that. So at the core of funnel building, right, is this right here. It's the offer, and it is belief. I stayed up till I remember I had this epiphany the Thursday before Funnel Hacking Live, and Russell needed my slides the next morning. And so I needed to distill this down in my brain. And so what I did was I went and I had this realization about 3 p.m. and, in the afternoon on Thursday. And I was like, holy crap. And I, got my phone out and I was sending, Russell a message. I was drawing on the whiteboard ferociously. I was like, check it out, bro. Oh my gosh, this makes so much more sense to teach it this way. He's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And I didn't go to bed till 4:45 in the morning because I needed to get the slides ready. But in order to take this stuff down and distill it in a simple way, simplicity, is ultimate complexity, and so I went and it took a while. Anyway, so at the core of a funnel, right, is two things. And the order that those are in matters, okay? Because the offer sits on and is delivered by the belief, okay? The offer is the vehicle to the result. The offer is the vehicle to the result, okay? And the belief is what delivers the actual offer. Without the belief piece, people will see the offer and they're like, wait a second, I don't understand why this offer matters. Okay, so the belief, the story is what delivers the offer itself, okay? Because of this, you have to understand this, okay? That your dream customer, they're already consuming both of these. You are not the first person to promise the result of health, wealth, or relationships. You're not the first person to promise those outcomes, okay? But you got to help them realize that the vehicle is no longer valid. So you take them out of, right? You take them out of the current vehicle that they're in, take them out of that, and you go and convince them it's not, don't paint the car, you need a new car, right? Or here's a helicopter, change the whole vehicle altogether, right? And so you got to understand that they're already consuming that. And the reason this is important is you got to understand that your personal opinions do not matter at all. Like I said before, you're not the one filling your own wallet. So who cares what you think? Who cares, right? Unless, as long as it's moral, as long as it's ethical, who cares? It doesn't matter what you think. I've had a lot of people come up and tell me like, Steven, I don't know if I like this stuff in my stack. Well, did the market tell you that's what they want? Well, yes, they did. Then stop caring what you think, right? Does that make sense? And so, because they're the ones filling your wallet, right? They followed the Yellow Brick Road. They're in the submarket as far as they can go. They're already consuming a story. They're already consuming a belief. They're already consuming an offer and a vehicle, right? And once you know what those things are, that you literally have pretty much everything you need to create a new opportunity. So I'm going to walk through how to do that though, okay? So what you're doing is the first thing you got to do is now funnel hack that. Okay. So if you think about health, wealth, and relationships are really results. They're not so much markets. They are markets, but another way to think of them is results. Are you promising the result of health? Are you promising the result of wealth or relationships? And the first thing you got to do is choose one of these three markets. Okay. And as you're thinking about it, one of the things that people will do is they'll go, well, Steven, my product doesn't immediately fit inside of health, wealth, or relationships, right? My offer doesn't naturally fit inside of health, wealth, or relationships. That's fine. But your message, your belief, the story must. Okay. For example, I always tell the Gillette example, but just to hit it again real quick, what market is Gillette selling in? Right? They're selling in relationships, right? You think about their messaging, a guy shaving his face. Yeah, I'm the freaking man. Yeah, what's up? And he's shaving his face and he's looking in the mirror. Yeah, what's up? Right? And a woman comes up and feels his face up right afterwards. What's the message? Men, you want the woman? You shave with this razor, right? They're selling relationships through the commodity of a razor, okay? They're selling relationships through the commodity of a razor. Right. And they got a message and a belief that makes you believe that that's how you get the relationship. That's another way to get the relationship. Okay. And so what you're doing is number one, you've got to fit your business into one of these three. If the product does not naturally, that's fine. The belief, the story, the sales message must. And that is the reason why is because these are the no duh buying places. These are the places where somebody buys easily. These are the places where no one has any issue spending money on these things. Okay. And so that's one of the reasons why, there's not a salesman next to the eggs and milk in a grocery store. It's a no duh buying experience. There's not a lot of convincing involved in that, right? There's just this brand, this price, this price. That's about it, right? So same kind of thing here. Health, wealth, relationships. People will easily spend money on health, wealth, that's the reason why. So you fit it into that category, and now what we got to go do is actually understand that as you're going forward, like I was saying before, you are selling back to the same submarket that you're coming out of. It's important to understand that in almost every scenario, that's the case. It's important to understand that because most people will turn around and be like, well, I funnel hacked, but then I'm selling over here and you're off selling these areas that just don't matter, right? You weren't trying to sell them in the first. Anyway, so you sell directly back to the red ocean that you're stemming out of 90% of the time. There's a few of the scenarios where that's not true, but most of the time that's what it is. Anyway, so now that you know this piece, right? Now that you know, right, the submarket, draw inside your submarket a line and put offer and belief. And so what you're funnel hacking out of the submarket is one of those two things. You're finding out what's the vehicle that my customer believes will give them the result. What is the vehicle that they believe gives them they're currently in a vehicle. What do they believe will give them that flag on the top of the mountain, that hill that they want, right? Health, wealth, or relationships, one of those things at the top. Okay. And then number two, it's the how, meaning how are they buying it? What's the belief, right, that they are consuming that will get them there? And when you find out what that currently is, oh my gosh, you have everything you need. Okay. So that's really it. Okay. Number one, you're choosing a red ocean. You are choosing a red ocean, crazy, bloody, red, extremely competitive red ocean. You're fitting it into and pointing it towards one of the three markets. And now you're funnel hacking, answering only that. To funnel hack means this. It's not necessarily, hey, the green button on the right, let me put it there. Hey, the headline, this, here's what the headline says. Yes, it is those things. Okay. But that's like the micro level of funnel hacking. At the macro level, what you're really doing is you're trying to figure out the answer to those two questions. What is the customer's current vehicle, current belief? Okay. Then number two, what you're going to do is now we're going to start applying the expert secrets pattern. The expert secrets pattern says you must create an offer. Okay. And the offer is what delivers, it's the vehicle. It is what delivers that result. Okay. Okay. And if people, it's when people say, oh, I don't know if my product will sell for that amount. Okay. Yeah. There is an element to matching your price point based on the prices that your market condition is currently used to. Right. But most of the time, it's usually this. If you don't sell an offer, your only option is to sell on price, is to compete on price, right? If you're just selling a product versus a product and they're very similar, it's like the eggs, right? Back to the eggs in the grocery store, or razors, right? Right? If it's the same freaking product and you're not selling an offer, which we'll go into in a second, since you're the same, the only thing you compete on is price. You're not really competing. Yeah, you compete with brands, sure, but you got to turn the thing into an offer, okay? And so this is how we do it. Now that we know inside the bloody red ocean what the belief is, now the challenge is to figure out what the vehicle-based, internal-based, and external-based beliefs are, okay? And the beliefs have more to do with this is the way I've been teaching it lately, and it's been far more effective, I feel like. Right? The vehicle is the offer, right? The vehicle is the offer. And so think of it this way. Let's say I walk up with this pair of headphones and I say, this is the vehicle to get you, I don't know, let's say I'm selling, let's say I'm selling wealth. And my message is, you listen to podcasts with these, and that's how you become wealthy, right? And so this does not immediately fit inside of health, wealth, or relationships, but I'm going to make it with my message. And I'm going to fit it into wealth. And I'm going to say, yeah, you listen to podcasts. With these headphones will let you listen to podcasts and let you listen to audiobooks and courses and gurus. This will actually make you wealthy. This should never cost you any money, right? And so let's say I go and I introduce this to somebody, and the immediately thing that happens inside the brain is, whoa, something new, right? And it starts to walk through the croc brain responses, which are, right, number one, should I run? Should I fight? Can I eat that? Can I mate with it? Right? Should I become a tribe with this thing? These are the things, the part of the brain subconsciously that are happening inside the noggin to keep you alive, right? To keep you safe, to keep you protected. The cool thing is that it keeps you alive, it keeps you safe, it keeps you protected. The bad part is that it does not accept new things well, right? And you must get past that part of the brain. That part of the brain is called the croc brain, right? That one of my favorite books, Pitch Anything, talks about this in great detail, right? And so anything new, sales message, product, whatever, relationship, person, individual, store, it doesn't matter. Anything new, our brains are running through this process, and we are trying to stay alive, right? Without us needing to. And so if we can take the message and get past that part of the brain, we are now in the part of the brain. I think it's correct me if I'm wrong, people, but hippocampus, right? The part right after where the logic center of the brain is. Really, you're selling them emotionally, but they think it's logical. Okay. Anyway, What you're going to do though is you got to get past that part. It's new, right? That's the vehicle-based. This is the vehicle, right? To get the thing. Vehicle-based internal belief. Cool, it's new. Will that actually get me to a place of wealth? And so there's this internal belief based on opportunity, right? That they're going to run into, right? And once you get past that, usually the reason they're in that order is because usually it's the order that the brain experiences. Number one, vehicle, something new. And then the next thing that they go through is they go through an internal based belief after that. And the internal that they're running through usually has to do with insecurities. I don't know if I have enough discipline to listen to this as I need to. I don't know if I have enough. Will I be smart enough? Do I need to already be smart in order to listen to this? Right. I don't know that I will have does that make sense? They go to insecurities. Right. That's another way to talk about internal based false beliefs. It's usually insecurities that the individual has on their ability to use the vehicle to get the result they want. Does that make sense? It's usually that's how that happens. That's why that happens. Okay. Then when you overcome those, their excuses, right? Their beliefs turn towards things that are away from them. And I blame my ability to be successful based on that. I don't have enough money. There's not enough time for me to listen to these headphones and listen to podcasts. I don't have enough resources. There's not enough support. There's not enough. And they point to their ability to be successful with that vehicle and get the result on things that are away from them. Okay. I don't have it right. My time, money, energy, spouse, resources. Those are all classic examples of things that are away from them that will keep somebody from. They might actually be convinced. How many times have you met somebody that's like, yeah, I actually believe that vehicle. They're not going to say that word. I believe that vehicle will work for me, and I actually think that I could do this, but my spouse just won't let me. Right. And that's the last thing they're setting on. And so now that you know what the vehicle internal and external based beliefs are, you have everything that you need to create both the new story and the offer. And this is how, right? So we're going to take those old beliefs that you've identified in the submarket, the red ocean, right? The current beliefs. And we're going to take those and we're going to, those beliefs, right? Vehicle, internal, external, and we're going to take, our main product that we actually want to sell, right? Classic example, Russell wanted to sell ClickFunnels. Okay. He wanted to sell ClickFunnels. And as he was selling ClickFunnels though, there's all these knee-jerk reaction objections that start happening, right? It's ClickFunnels. Huh! Will this vehicle really give me the result of wealth? Will it? Right? And he's got to overcome that, right? Well, I don't know that I know how to do anything techie. Russell's like, don't even worry about it, right? And he's not dumb at all, but in the script himself, the funnel hack script, he acts like he is. He's like, guys, the joke is that if I can do it, oh my gosh, if Russell can do it, we know the rest of everyone else can, right? He's not dumb at all, but he's saying that for he's attacking the internal belief and some of vehicle as well by saying that, by taking down the belief and saying, yes, I can do this. You can do this because I can do it, right? If I can do it, you totally can, right? And he's telling a whole bunch of stories to help break that. Externally saying things like, but don't you need copy? Right? Don't you need a copywriter? Don't you need this? And Russell's going, no, right? I got this sweet product that helps you with that. So what we're going to do is the main thing that you want to actually be selling, we're going to add to it and bundle together other products to create an offer. So we will take the vehicle based false belief, right? And they'll say, I don't know, is this really the best option for me listening to podcasts to get me the wealth that I want, right? To keep the same example going that we've been doing, right? Is this really it? And say, yes, actually. And you know what? What comes with this is a guide of the top podcasts that you would love as you listen to this, right? Oh, that's crazy cool. These are the top rate. Does that make sense? Right? I would totally do that. Vehicle-based product. Next, internal. Will I have the discipline to routinely listen to this? I don't know if I will. I don't know if I'm smart enough. Hey, don't even worry about it. You know what we've got for you here, and now you've got a product based on internal, right? Let's say that you send with them, there's an app, and the app is really an alarm clock, and it pings them every day, a reminder to listen. So now you don't need to worry about it. It's taken care of for you, right? You don't need to worry about having the discipline because I'm going to bug you to make sure you do. Isn't that awesome? Right? So now you've got the main thing. We're selling this, right? You've got the vehicle-based product, right? Is the guide on the best podcast. The internal, right? Which is, let's say it's an app that's going to ping you and make you and force you to do it. Now let's go with external, right? External meaning if the belief, right? The belief down, oh, you can see my mouse, cool. if the belief down over here, right, is, oh, it's too much money. Right now, I'm going to make part of the product. Well, it's actually okay. We got a payment plan on these things, right? Or let's say it's about time. How much time do I really have to spend on this? Hey, don't worry about it. We got, what I want to include for you guys is a series of expert interviews from the top people explaining on how the amount of time that you actually need to actually have an effect in your life listening to these podcasts. So now you actually get this, and you get the guide, all the top podcasts, and you get the thing on internal belief, which is it's the app, right? Reminding you, bugging you. And now you get all these interviews on the top thing. Now, right? Now that's an offer. Okay. Boom, boom. That's an offer. Okay. We've got the main thing. Now we've got those things together. And what did it cost? Right? Those are info products, guys, right? An app, right? Once you create the thing, it's not going to cost that much money. Do I need to skimp on pricing now that I'm selling that bundle? No. Right? I can sell it for what it's freaking worth. And it makes me actually be able to go in and keep motivated to delivering for the customer. Right? Right. And that's how we put the actual offer itself together. Okay. So a new niche is created, you guys, when, number one, you create a new, you have to deliver, right? I think my face is covering right here. Okay. There we go. This is part of the presentation plateau plomo. That's why that has that there in the bottom. Funnel Hacking Live. But anyway, so the new niche, right? The new niche is created when you deliver, number one, a new vehicle to get the result. Okay, so let's say someone comes in, they're competing with Gillette, or Gillette comes out and they're like, hey, that razor was good, but you know what's really cool? An electric razor, right? New vehicle to get the result. You still can have the woman, by the way, right? Shaving with this electric razor, but they still got a woman coming to the back, fueling his face up, still selling relationships, okay? Right? New vehicle to get the relationships. And I'm going to go ahead and change that belief with you by telling you a story. Right, I'm going to tell you a story that breaks and rebuilds your beliefs about shaving by hand with the old-fashioned razors. Yeah, terrible, right? And anyway, so when you deliver a new offer and specifically a new belief that supports and delivers that vehicle, specifically what we're talking about with that, the belief part is it's your freaking origin story mixed with the 4 stories. Right? The other 3 stories here, right? The vehicle-based product that comes with a story that helps you introduce it and breaks and rebuilds their belief. Internal-based product, right? That comes with a story that breaks and rebuilds the old belief over here, right? So you're talking about the 4 stories, all right? One that is the origin story that helps them break and rebuild. Oh my gosh, electric razor, what? Right? And then number 2, 3, 4 is vehicle internal external to help break that. So with those 4, so when you deliver that, you're now bashed to pieces for the most part, the majority of the time, at least for a place for you to make a lot of money, all the beliefs that they had about the old vehicle. Okay. And so, let me I just want to make a point here real quick. Okay. With this, the way it works is most people, right, they'll start with the funnel. And I'm just to go full circle on what it is that we were just talking about at the beginning of this. Let's go full circle with this though. And I want you to know, and I want you to realize that first thing that you do, right, is you funnel hack. Funnel hack meaning what is the offer and belief that these guys are currently consuming, right? Now what I'm going to go do is number 1, I'm going to actually create the story. I'm going to create the sales message, right? That's what breaks and rebuilds beliefs. That's this piece down here. It's the sales message. When you create the sales message, the worst thing you can do is not launch it. Okay. The worst thing you can do is move on and start building the offer. Don't do it that way. Okay. If I go build the offer before I build the sales message, I end up creating a sales message right over here, tethered by the offer that I created. Does that make sense? Restrained, right? But in a box by what my offer was, right? If I go and I build a funnel first, which should really be step 3. If I go, that's why we don't go into funnel building forever with you guys in this course. Okay. Funnel, right? The FAT event. How much time do we spend in the FAT event and ClickFunnels? Those of you guys have been like an hour on the last day. That's it. Because most of you guys skip this part, which is the essence of selling and marketing. You must know it. Otherwise, you will be going, then you are competing on price. Then you're not selling an offer. Then you're selling directly back to a red ocean, right? And so if I create the funnel first, I end up creating a product an offer tethered by what I made the funnel to be. That was my issue that first time I launched the thing. All right. Let's say I'm building this offer and I realize, oh my gosh, my people actually need this. But instead, what I did is I created a funnel that only has 2 OTOs in it. And really I need a 3rd one and a downsell. Right? I end up finding an offer and filling in the gaps based on what I built the funnel to be. right? That's mostly the tendency. That's usually what happens. That's typically what happens, okay? Where if I go and I start creating a sales message after I make my offer, I end up making a sales message to sell the offer that I created rather than what they freaking want. So the first thing that you go do is as soon as you have the sales, that's why I say like just freaking launch, guys. Get your webinar script done. Get it done and start selling and get cash coming in, and then make the product with them, okay? And what that will do is then it will let you be reactionary to the message that people wanted to hear in order to stand up, leave their old vehicle, and throw their wallet at you, swoosh, and toss it over to you. And when you do it in that way, when you do it in that model, oh my gosh, it's so much better. It's so much better, okay, to do it that way. Because now you're creating an offer reactionary to the sales message that you found out actually sells your stuff, okay? So you know the main thing that you want to go sell, right? That main thing, don't worry about anything else. I wouldn't create anything else. And what I would do is instead launch to them and help them realize like, hey, look, guys, it's not a bait and switch. Every time I've done this, I let them know, look, it's not done yet, right? The schedule for module 1, it's going to be released in 2 weeks, right? And you're ask campaigning in each individual module, getting all the pieces done you need to, so that they are creating the roadmap for you of what to create. It's not actually, since that's what I mean. Your opinions don't matter, both as far as the offer that you create, the way you sell the message, each individual module. It's all, you're just being a good detective. This game's more about being a good detective than being this natural creative. Oh, I got to be this creative individual. Be creative, but be creative second. Okay. First funnel hack. Do exactly what the market is telling you to do. Learn how to be an appropriate reactionary to how they are reacting to your message, and go create with them the actual offer. Okay. And when you're doing that, then you go in and you're doing the final glaze pieces on your funnel. Okay. What I don't want you to do is man, we got awesome new features coming out, right? With Actionetics. If those of you guys are at Funnel Hacking Live, you know about them. They're freaking incredible. Do not get distracted by the feature. Instead, do it last. That's totally what I mean. Guys, my webinar funnel is still limping along on one leg. It is so broken. Why? Because I don't freaking care about it yet. The only thing I care about is tweaking out my actual script. That's it. And making it more attractive, more awesome, more insatiable. So when people hear the stories, like I know my stories are on point, guys. People go nuts over my stories. I know that I'm hitting it on the head. There's a few more things in my stack section of my webinar that aren't hitting home yet. And so what I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm being reactionary, and I'm changing, updating, testing, doing live. Still, even though I have an automated version going, I'm still doing all those pieces so that I can be a reactionary appropriately. And they helped me create the actual offer. Now that and what's been cool, guys, it's been really neat to watch. There's like 5 places in my offer that I think is cool, that is drastically overshooting the mark for them to feel fulfilled on it. Okay. Drastically. Okay. After I go create the sales message that gets people off their butt and the wallet in the air, whoosh, and you got that credit card machine up and you let that thing slide right through as it passes on, right? It's a cool image. Now that you know what that is, right? Now I can go in and I can create an offer, right, that fulfills the promise that my sales message created. And when I do that, it's out of my hands. It's out of my hands. Okay. I don't need to go do it again. Right. Which is super cool. Meaning I don't need to. I'm now reactionary in the appropriate sense. Right. And what's cool about it is there's 2 things you got to understand with this. Number one, when it comes to this actual offer creation piece, right, you're being reactionary to an extent. Okay. If Henry Ford had listened to everybody, he would have just made a faster horse, right? Classic example of what I'm trying to display, right? And if Russell had listened to everybody, right, they would have just made better like landing page software, not funnel software. You know what I mean? So you're being reactionary to an extent. And then you get to this period and this point where you must be the creative. You do have, does that make sense? You're adding in your vision. So you're being reactionary in most of the items in the stack, right? To help them feel, oh yeah, okay, this blanket of security. Oh, I've got everything I need to be successful. This is so freaking awesome. But really what you're doing is being reactionary in the stack to a certain extent. And then you're adding in on that main thing that you actually wanted to sell. That's where you're selling more of this new opportunity, more of the vision. Okay. So that you're not entering a new opportunity just based on giving more. Your actual product is a new opportunity as well. Does that make sense? That makes sense. Russell gives in funnel hacks, right? No, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you more training on how to write your webinar, or I'm going to give you on how to write your email, right? He's got inception secrets in there, right? Oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you more training on this, more training on that. That's him being reactionary in the bonuses in the stack, right? But then he's also saving a little bit of his genius for that main thing. And that's what's helping them both buy product and offer be in a new niche at the same time. Does that make sense? Because does that make sense? So you're being reactionary, just like that's exactly what I did. Okay. I went through and I created the offer based on what I knew they wanted. Okay. But then there was this extra piece of awesome on the top that I knew no one was asking for because they didn't have the vision for it. They didn't know to ask for it. Right. And so what I did is I reserved that piece of it. I'm still being reactionary in my stack items in the offer that I'm creating. Stack, 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 stack. But then towards the top, as soon as I get towards the end of it, I'm reserving part of my genius. You know what I mean? You all have part of your genius, right? If you're better than half the market at what you do, you have ideas that no one else has, which you guys all have, right? You're all experts. That's part of being the expert, right? And so you're going to add in your genius right at the very last part of that there. And that's by both product through your genius and offer by giving more. You will not have to sell at a discount. You're not going to compete on price by doing that. Okay. So then I'm going back and I'm doing all this stuff. My funnel's so broke. I don't even have a consumption series set up yet. I don't have, like, there's so much stuff I don't have set up yet. Okay. And if you look right now at my floor, see all those pieces of paper? That's me funnel hacking email sequences to the max right now. I'm funnel hacking tons of email sequences. I printed out all the email sequences of some of the top webinars I've ever seen in my life, and taking special note. I'm documenting the time the email was sent, what I had to do, you know, and I'm drawing it all out. And over here on this other whiteboard, I got huge lists of all the lessons and the patterns I started seeing in the most successful email sequences post webinar, and it's pretty amazing. So I'll teach you guys all that as soon as I have it more distilled down. It's not really there yet, but that's funnel side. Okay. I got the basic message to sell stuff. I got the offer to fulfill the promise that my sales message was giving. And then lastly though, the funnel itself, like there's a whole lot of stuff. So when I get through, like next week, all I'm doing next week, the entire week is I'm going back to the script, major improvements and things I've known for a long time are broken in it. Going back to the offer, simplifying, getting down to the thing that they really need to feel and have. Going back to the funnel, adding in the things like those crazy email sequences, right? Then what do? I go back, do it again, back, do it again, back, do it again. And that's the pattern that I use to follow up through it. And it was super, anyway, it's awesome to do it that way in that method. I strongly encourage every guys to be coaching somebody. The act of coaching simplifies things in your brain and better ways to teach stuff after a period of time than you ever, that and publishing. So one of the safety nets, right, is by building stuff in the order I just said: message, offer, funnel, sales message, offer, funnel, script, offer, funnel. That's another way to say that. The other thing that saves your butt though is active publishing. Active publishing has been one of the safety nets, because when your funnel is a little janky, right? When something's a little bit messed up on it, it's the safety net that will actually keep you getting sales, just because people know your character and they know who you are. And you've had time to sell them on you in your podcast or whatever it is that you're doing. Anyways, I'm really excited, guys. So one of the announcements, actually, let me get to it in a second here. Let me just finish this thought and then I'll get to a cool announcement I've got. Alrighty. So, all right. Joe Polish said, let me wind back a little bit. I went kind of deep there with it, but all right. A new niche is created when you deliver the offer and the belief. Okay. So Joe Polish said, right, there's no relationship between being good and getting paid. Right. So it's not about you creating an offer that's better. It's about you doing the second part, which is being good at marketing. Okay. It's not about creating an offer that's better. That is definitely part of it. That is what helps fulfill what you're selling. But when it comes down to it, you must be good at the actual storytelling aspect. That is the script, the sales message. Okay. That's how you break and rebuild the beliefs. At the essence of marketing, right? Marketing is not selling. They're two separate activities. But at the essence of marketing is storytelling, right? The essence of marketing is breaking and rebuilding belief patterns. That is marketing, right? It's educating for the purpose of selling. It's educating for the purpose of breaking and rebuilding belief patterns. That's marketing, right? And as a business owner, right, you're only two, oh my gosh, I can't think of the word. Obligations, right, is to innovation and marketing. That's it. The only revenue sources in your business are to innovation and marketing. everything else is a cost on the business. I can't remember who said that. I think it's Jay Abraham. I could be wrong on that. Everything else is a cost on the business. Okay. So the only thing I want you to be obsessing over is innovation and marketing. That is, right, innovation, which we're doing by helping you create an offer, create these funnels, and get a new arm of revenue into your business, right? Because the funnel is not a business. It's this area to get new cash in, innovation. And then number two, marketing, storytelling, okay, sales, right? Meaning your actual sales script itself, which is it's loaded with storytelling. It's breaking and rebuilding belief, okay? By learning and understanding those two things, that's the only obligation you have as a business owner. You should be outsourcing every other activity. Don't worry about anything else. So anyways, one of the ways that I found the theme for my sales message, and I hope that this helps clarify for you guys. A lot of you guys are trying to figure out still like what message you're trying to create, right? And you're like, I don't really know. I've never really understood hook and headline and stuff like that. I still have a hard time splitting those up. But for me, the way I have split it up is if I think of my sales message as having a theme, and that's my hook. Okay, what's the theme of my sales message and my headline itself, right? And as I think through the theme, right, and just to use the MLM space for as an example, because that's what I'm selling in, so you can see what my thought process was, right? For selling in the MLM space, the thing that I did that really, really helped is I looked back. Let me go back here. I looked back in this sub-market, right? This red ocean. And what I did is I looked at the belief that the stereotypical MLMer has about what it takes to get wealth, right? That's the thing they all want, right? What do they believe? What's the vehicle? Okay, they believe that the vehicle to wealth is this MLM. And what's the story? What's the ideal, right? What's the stereotype that they all have about that vehicle, right? Part of the vehicle is they think that the only way to actually exercise MLM and get to wealth is they believe the only way to get to them is family members and friends, right? Everyone knows that, right? That's like the big joke. Join an MLM, lose your relationships, right? So I thought, like, what if I throw rocks at that? What if I throw crazy rocks at it and it became the hook for my headline and message, right? It became the theme. That's another way to explain that and think about it. And so that's what I did is I acted as a middleman and I came here and I hurl rocks as hard and as aggressively as I can at that market. And I started publishing because I knew that was a safety net for my funnel, which it has been. Okay. Safety net. So I had this community to launch too, right? So like whatever you guys are doing right now, I would stop and go start publishing. Anyway, so what I did is I realized, I even made it as part of my mantra. Okay. And so my podcast intro even says in it, right? Hey, we're a group of MLMers who didn't cheat by just going to family members and friends. That causes a split, and it does. And I get people who love me and I get people who hate me, and it's fine, right? And it means that I am hitting that message straight on, right? The theme, that belief that I'm breaking and rebuilding right here, it means I'm hitting it right on, right? Change your whole belief. Come with me. Stop cheating, right? And I'm super open about it. And it cuts that industry like a hot knife in butter, right? Real fast. And so I am causing polarity in those who are following me on purpose. Okay. So when you're creating, that's what this line represents here, this dotted line, there will be this aspect of polarity. There must, right? Of people putting on a new cape, like Kaylin was talking about, of people putting on a new belief. You know what? I actually believe there's another way to do this, right? And they go on over, they're like, oh my gosh. And by the way, check this out. There's this vehicle that I can still have the same outcome, right? In MLM, right? And that's what I'm selling. Does that make sense? And so one of the things that you can do, guys, is number one, find either an offer, right? Let's say you're like, oh, razors suck, right? I'm going to be Dollar Beard Club. Don't stop shaving, right? There's a new vehicle to get relationships, which is kind of what Dollar Beard Club's also selling, right? He's always around women all over the place in their commercials, right? Right? Be a freaking man, right? That's kind of his thing, right? So he's still selling that, but he's saying poo-poo on the offer, poo-poo on the vehicle. I hate that. Instead, don't even shave the freaking thing, right? Right? And he's still selling the belief. Does that make sense? And so if you've ever seen that, if you haven't seen any of his commercials, be careful with some of them, okay? But Dollar Beard Club, go watch those commercials, watch the message, right? And then the offer is the very last thing at the end that he's tossing out there. Right? Here's your beard oil. Here's this, anyway, that makes sense. So number one, which you can do to help create more of the theme of your actual sales message itself is number one, huck rocks as hard as you can at either the offer, right? Don't shave, or the belief, right? Talking to family members sucks, right? For MLM. And be active about it. Take a stance. And when you do that, that's what creates this bridge between the two, is you're throwing rocks. Don't throw them at people. I'm not telling you got to be someone about contention. I don't believe in that either. I'm not saying that you got to be this person who just stirs people up to anger either. What I'm saying, though, is people have opinions. Just be the one who's sorting those who have opinions. Just sort the opinions. People already have them. You're not the one creating it. Right? They already have the opinions. So be the one who delivers the community, who helps, that helps deliver the belief and the opportunity, and just be the one that says, hey, look, oh, you believe that? Awesome. Hey, we don't, we believe this over here, and throw rocks at the belief, not the person. Okay. Throw rocks at the offer, not the person. And that is what creates this dotted line, or that is the bridge. One of the easiest ways anyway for the bridge, for them to envelop and take on and embody a new belief, okay? A new offer, a new vehicle they believe will still get them the outcome that they really want: health, wealth, relationships. And anyway, so when it comes down to it, you've got to be fantastic at this marketing piece. But really, when it comes down to the marketing piece, learn how to tell stories, okay? It's the other reason I like publish, okay? Which brings me to my second piece. I was talking to Russell, and I was telling him that, like, look, after 700 people coming through this program and me having the chance to coach you guys through it, one of the patterns that I'm starting to see is that those who publish actually do this. Meaning those who actually get out and start publishing. I don't care if it's blog, podcast, whatever it is. I don't care what medium you choose, but just choose one, okay? And go and actually start publishing, okay? And the correlation I'm seeing is that 90% of the time, the people who actually decide to publish are the ones who are actually serious. And they're the ones who actually write their webinar script. They're the ones who actually put the funnel together. They're the ones who so I am your coach. Yes, I'm your friend, but please understand, I am here to push you in the appropriate growing ways. I don't want you to get bathed with too much information and feel distress. That's not the goal. I don't want you to feel distress. I want you to feel eustress, which is, it comes from euphoria, meaning push you, get you to a place, hold your feet to the fire a little bit, right? Growth comes in a little bit of pain, not the bad kind of pain, but the growing pain, much like going to the gym. Okay. I need you to feel that. I need you to have that. And so what I'm going to do, and just talk to Russell about this, and he said, yes, I'm going to make a module 0, and module 0 is actually going to be about publishing, and it's going to be about helping you develop different aspects of the attractive character through publishing. And really, and there's 2 or 3 different ways to begin publishing that makes it very low barrier on your side. Okay. Those of you guys who saw Peng Jun's presentation at Funnel Hacking Live, that was just a huge valid stamp of approval on me saying you got to publish. Okay. Content is extremely important. It's a good long-term play, but it will develop you fast. Right? It is the shortcut to developing an attractive character. It is the shortcut to finding what message sells. It is the shortcut to finding which offer you should be getting ready to produce. And that's totally how I did it. So anyway, so I'm going to make a module 0 here. I need to go through and I'm going to clean up some of the content because I don't want you to get like bogged down. There's already like 200 hours of stuff in there, and I don't want you to get overwhelmed. And I'm sure some of you are feeling that, and I don't want that. But I am going to make a module 0, and he said yes to that, which I'm very excited about. So I'm going to go put that in there, and it's going to be about publishing. The correlation is, like I said, those who publish do it, and those who don't publish take forever to do it. Okay, and if you're feeling like, oh, Stephen, I really don't want to do it, I get it. Okay, I did not want to publish the first time Russell told me to 2 years ago when I showed up broke at Funnel Hacking Live. That was only 2 years ago, guys. Almost to the day. Wait, what's the date? Holy crap, to the day. Yeah, seriously, 2 years ago, today, we were at Funnel Hacking Live, right? Because it was the last week in March, and then I literally graduated the next week. And well, how about full circle, huh? So anyway, I was like, Russell, I don't want to publish, but you said to, and I've given so much to get here. So gosh, dang it. And I was like mad about it. I was like, fine, I will. And so I did. Sales Funnel Radio started, right? All these other things started. I developed as the attractive character. I was able to get so much better at my craft. I was already good at it, but like oh man, like the sizzle got turned up, right? Connections started happening in my brain, right? I didn't know what to publish on episode 3. I didn't know what I'm on episode like 130 now. I don't know what I'm going to publish on episode 140. But me having the pressure of needing to deliver something of high value, right, forces my head to constantly be thinking about this stuff. It doesn't feel like a burden either. It's super fun, actually. And I get to discover these elements and these pieces and then go deliver them, and it brings more community, right? And I get to teach this kind of stuff, right? And it's the thing that I need you to be doing so that you're able to. Anyway, it was crazy. It's so funny. So those of you guys at Funnel Hacking Live, you know, right? Just this last one. So 2 years ago, Russell said publish. And I was like, crap, I don't want to. It's like, fine. So I started doing it, and it's nuts. We're over 110,000 downloads already, right? It's awesome. Okay. It's only been like a little over a year and a half. It's nuts. Okay. And at Funnel Hacking Live, right, one of the first presentations Russell gave is he was like, hey, where's Steven? And so I yelled, because I do that. And I was like, wow. And I yelled. And he goes, there he is. He goes, Steven's one of my favorite people on the planet, but he's not on Instagram. And then he proceeded to the remainder of the presentation, give me a soft blow for not being on Instagram, as he told everybody else that you got to get on Instagram. Okay. And so what did I do? The very next day, I went and I bought a brand new iPhone during lunch at Funnel Hacking Live, and I am now on Instagram. Okay. And why? Because I trust him and the process. And one of the issues that I run into with people is that I'm like, hey, let me push you. And people are like, yeah, push me. And then they spend all this time questioning the process that I'm trying to get them to go through. Stop questioning the process. I know it works. I've done it. I'm doing it. I'm in it. Okay. So we have tons of people who are already going through it. Don't question the process. Okay. Just believe that it works. Understand there'll be a little bit of discomfort as you grow and develop, as you actually do the process, and you'll be able to go through and have this kind of success that we're trying to help you get. Okay. It was so fun to look at. It was like 90 people who got a 2 Comma Club award. So cool to look at all of them who came from this program. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And guess what the correlation was? They did not question the process. Okay. Just put your head down and do it. We know what we're talking about. I've had 700 people come through it now. We've really refined the issues and the problems in the process, and we know what works, what doesn't. We know it works in every market. We know that usually the thing that I have to go and fight with is the person's belief. I treat you like a customer, right? You are a customer, but meaning I treat you like I'm trying to teach you to treat your customers. Meaning I look at you and I say, hey, what is everyone's vehicle-based belief, false belief about this program? What is everyone's internal insecurity? I know what it is. Okay. What's everyone's external excuse that they have for not taking action on the vehicle of Secrets Masterclass and getting their freaking webinar off the ground? I know what it is. Okay. Vehicle. They are like, oh, is this process really real? And the biggest one they ask is this vehicle, Secrets Masterclass, a webinar? It's not going to work for my product. Like, bull crap. I'm not a swear, but I'm about to. Okay. It works. How do we know? Because we've done it, and we've seen a lot of people do it, and I've coached a lot of other people in it. It works. Stop questioning it. Okay. Number 2, right? The internal based insecurity is always about, it's usually about publishing, especially when I say that, well, or about the webinar. Do I have to be the one doing the webinar? I don't know if I can do the webinar. I don't know if I can do the thing, right? I don't know if I can be the one delivering. I totally understand that. That was my huge insecurity when Russell said to publish, and I didn't want to, right? My insecurity was like, I don't know what to freaking say. Are you serious? And as I started publishing, my content was good, but my delivery sucked, right? I don't want you to be the first time you're delivering a podcast to be the first time you're ever talking on the internet. That's why I'm saying practice on your podcast or whatever it is you choose to publish on. Okay. So stop. That's not a valid belief anymore. Okay. Okay. Third thing is usually about excuses. Typically, it's usually in 2 areas. The external excuse people have about the ability to be successful with Secrets Masterclass is usually around 2 areas. Money. Not about money being in the course, money about ads. Well, do I really need to spend money on ads? Yeah, but you know, if you're publishing, you're building a community, and you can send out to them and then take the cash that they purchased with and just reinvest that. I've never spent $1 of my own on any of my businesses ever. Okay. It has always come from me selling something, taking that cash and reinvesting it, and just boom, boom, boom. It just rolls on itself. So boom, that's done. And then the other one that people always stress out about, they're like, how much time is this going to take? Are you freaking kidding me? How much is $1 million worth to you? Stop asking that question. Dumb question. Okay. Okay. Dumb question. I'm just going to call it out. Okay. Don't get offended. Be teachable. That's not a good question. Okay. What is it worth to you? Go forward and just move. Okay. I've been at this for years. Okay. And I did not have someone who was coaching me along the way. I wish someone was holding my feet to the fire. I wish someone was saying, Steven, cut out all the noise. You don't need another freaking book. Stop looking for another guru. Stop looking for another event. You don't need it. Just do this. And that's what I'm trying to do for you. Okay. So please let me know. Am I breaking and rebuilding your beliefs? Just marry the process. Stop questioning it and just do it. And if you just put your head down, pay the price of a little discomfort, pay the price of being able to look like an idiot a few times on your webinar or a few times when you're publishing. Guess what? If you're brand new, no one's following you anyway, so no one's going to see it. Okay. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's not a valid excuse. Okay. If you're willing to pay that price and go through it, and you look back, as I look back, okay, and I got the nicest kid award in my graduating, the nicest kid award out of 600 people graduating, nicest kid award, right, from high school. It was not that I was nice. It shocked the crap out of me that I got that reward, or that I got that award. Okay, I was this little rage machine on the inside. Okay, seriously. Right? I had anger problems. I was freaking scared of adults. I had real issues that I had to get over. The way I got over it was by watching Russell, right, and other people on stage. And I would take my computer, I would stand in front of a mirror, I would mute the computer, and I would physically mimic what he was doing on stage, literally. Okay. And that's what broke me of that. Okay. But you got to be willing to go through some of looking like an idiot. Okay. You got to, the first time I ever did podcasts, Periscope. I started publishing first on Periscope. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's terrible. Like I should go delete those videos on YouTube, but I'm not going to, because it clearly demonstrates where I came from. Does that make sense? If you wait to be the guru on the mountain to start publishing, people will not believe you. Okay. It is easier to bring people with you if you're just one step ahead. It's like that book, that movie, Catch Me If You Can, right? It's a true story, right? And he's going out and he's teaching that crowd. He's teaching that class, right? Advanced sociology, wasn't it? It's advanced sociology. And he's just another student. No one knew that. And he's teaching advanced sociology. And they're like, how did you pull that off? He's like, I was just one chapter ahead. If you wait to be the guru on the mountain to begin this publishing thing, if you wait to be the guru on the mountain to start actually interacting with your community, the problem is that people will look at you and say, I must be at Russell's level to begin working with Russell. I must be at Stephen's level to begin working with Stephen, right? And you're neglecting the long tail of the individuals who wish to be following you. It's one of the coolest rants I've ever been on. I'm just going to keep following it, okay? Okay? So you got to stop that crap out. Cut it out. Okay, if you're down here and you're not the guru on the mountain yet, you are in the most brilliant space ever to begin publishing. You're in the most brilliant, incredible, most lucrative, long-term place for you to begin. Why are people liking to follow me? It's because I didn't wait. Okay, I'm just now starting to get a little bit of public eye, and I know that, and that's fine. That's cool. Whatever. You know, okay, it's not getting me all these. It's not getting me all these, like. It's fun to be a part of and do it, but like. It's not, just see when you get there, like it's more of a responsibility than anything. It's an obligation to the crew and the people that are now following me. Does that make sense? Right? But I didn't wait. And the reason I didn't wait, which is the reason people are not telling me now, they're like, Stephen, I like following you. And it literally, this is happening to me now. It is literally manifesting the very thing that I'm trying to teach you guys, which is that if I waited to publish, if I waited to try and become the attractive character, if I did not go through the stumbles publicly, right? People would look at where I am now and go, Stephen, I have to be here to work with you. Right? And that's what they do. And instead, I published when I was here, just a little bit higher than they were. Not up here, a little bit higher. Right? Just one step ahead. And now everyone's back here and I'm just publishing. And I'm documenting my journey. It's one of the easiest ways to find things to publish about, to find fuel for your message, for your offer, and you know, to take things into a new opportunity. Okay. It's one of the, oh my gosh. Okay. So there's this guy who is, he's the man, a good friend of mine. Anyway, I spoke at an event a couple weeks ago. There's 1,000 people there. It was a lot of fun, and it was a tough crowd. They did not know anything I was talking about. And so I had to really adapt the message, and I watered it down like crazy. It was a bunch of fun. And one of the guys I was talking to afterwards, he said, Stephen, I want to start publishing, but one of the issues that I'm running into is that, like, I don't know what the heck to talk about. I said, number one, stop caring about podcast 2 until you've done podcast 1. Okay? Stop caring. It doesn't matter. Stop caring. Okay? You will find ideas. I've got a whiteboard back there, chock full of ideas. I literally came up with over 100 podcasting ideas on the airplane home from Funnel Hacking Live. Okay, content galore, but it will only come right when you need it. Okay. I don't care what podcast 200 is going to be about. I'll find out after 199. Okay. And what that does is it lets me give full attention and focus and over delivering value. This is what I told him, meaning per episodes. This is what I told him. I told him the big secret, and you watch the same process happen with Russell. The big secret, and I will tell you after sitting next to him that this is true as well. Okay, here's the scenario. Okay, here's the scenario. We're sitting there, and I'm working, and I'm jamming out to some music, and we're building funnels. Okay, and I'm building funnels. I would not have done this, by the way, when I first started publishing, but I don't care. I'm just myself. This is all about you being a loud version of you, not what you think professional looks like. Okay, I don't give a crap at all about that. Okay, instead, this is all about being a loud version of you. Okay, and what you're doing is you're going in. So we would be building, right? We'd be building funnels, and I'm building funnels, and Russell's over there, and he's jamming out to stuff also, and we're grooving, and all of a sudden Russell goes, "Oh!" Which means I have an idea. So everyone stands up, and they run over to the whiteboard, like, "Whoa, check it out!" And we have this huge brainstorm session, usually with no socks and shoes. We're like, "Oh, that's cool. What about this and this?" Yeah, and we're like going back and forth, playing devil's advocate back and forth. It's a ton of fun. And then this is what always happens, okay? I went and bought a camera after I left that place because of how important this is. He takes his camera out. And then whatever epiphany he just had, he goes, "What's up, everyone? Oh my gosh, I just had this crazy epiphany, podcast about X, Y, and Z." And at the end, he gives it a title. He's like, "Hey, by the way, let's give that podcast episode name. Let's give it this title." And that's how he does it, okay? What's the lesson? Okay, same exact thing that I do. Okay, the easiest way to publish, easiest way to become an attractive character ever is this. Okay, is to go forward and publish as you learn. That's the big secret. With my stuff, I'm literally bringing people along with the lessons that I'm learning when I'm learning them. Meaning, one of the questions that this person has, one of my good buddies, he said, "Steven, don't you think you'll ever run out of podcast ideas?" And I was like, I didn't realize that's a concern you have? Huh. And we were at dinner and I was thinking through what he said and I was like, you believe that I already know all this? Huh. I'm literally publishing my own epiphanies. Every time I learn something, I just tell you about it too. You're learning with me. And he was like, "Whoa, are you serious?" I said, "Yes. Holy crap. Take the pressure off, right? And just go learn." And it lets you be this attractive character who's a crusader still, right? You're learning. You don't have to know it all. That's what we mean, document the journey. It's not just the journey of you creating the thing. It's your journey. And you're going through and you're saying, "Oh, man," right? Well, funny, right? My thing is sales funnel radio, right? Funny enough, sales funnel radio, what's every episode pretty much? Pretty much every episode is 80% of it is the story of me learning a thing. And then the last 20% is the thing, right? And every time I do just publish just like the main idea, the episode never goes as well. I have to wrap it in a story, right? That's why you wrap your product. That's why you wrap sales in the story, and then you can go deliver the thing. Okay. I have literally been ranting for the last hour and 15 minutes. Okay. We haven't even got to any Q&As yet, but I hope this is like good. Like I see where you are. I've been where you are. And I look back and I'm like, just freaking believe that it works, okay? Because you got the best products, the best stuff, the best information. I frankly think that I'm a good coach. I'm a good coach. Am I the best? Yeah, there's probably a few people that are better, but there's maybe one other person, Russell himself, that's built as many funnels that I have, okay? You've got the best stuff. I'm pushing you hard. I'm not trying to make this comfortable for you. I'm trying to make you get successful and grow, okay? You've got the best tools, everything. What is left? It's belief. That's it. Will we find better ways to teach in the future? Of course we will. Will we find better ways to convey the things? Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But unless you're obsessing at the level that we are, we're going to be the ones that deliver that. Probably not you in the terms of the funnel area. Does that make sense? You, though, you're obsessing, hopefully, over your market, your own expertise. Obsess over it. Your own expertise. You're obsessing over it, right? And since you're obsessing over it, right? You care about it. You're passionate about it. You are the best salesman for your thing. Do not outsource that. Okay. Like when Russell talks about That's like outsourcing marketing, which is like outsourcing your sex life. Okay. You're not going to outsource that. Okay. Okay. You're the best person selling your thing, right? You're the best person to sell your thing. Okay. Your only next steps is to, number one, realize, do exactly to you what I'm trying to teach you to do your customers, meaning be a little introspective and look back and go, if this hasn't happened yet, what am I not believing that Steven's telling me? What am I not believing that Russell's telling me? What am I not believing that Russell says ClickFunnels can do and Steven says ClickFunnels can do? What am I not believing? And look back in your own life and start thinking. And I want you to do this. If you know that you're having these issues, and even if you're not, it's kind of helpful to go back and look forward anyway and see what those things are. Look back and go, oh, what's the thing? Right? What's the story that caused that belief? Who told me what that made me think, oh yeah, ClickFunnels can't do this, right? Oh, this training can't do that. Oh, my offer doesn't sell in webinars that way. It's crap. That's not true. Okay. Oh, it doesn't do well. Does that make sense? And reverse engineer your own beliefs. And when you start to do that, you'll see this cool pattern. I encourage you to do this frequently. I do it. I've always made two things I want to teach you guys here, and then we'll actually finally get to some Q&A, which I'm sorry, it's been a long rant here, but hopefully it's been helpful for you. Number one, first thing, understand that like things that will increase your speed. That's actually my number one question here. I wrote that on my notepad when I came back from Funnel Hacking Live on the plane. Okay. As I wrote, how do I increase my speed? And one of the things that's always increased my speed is there's two things here. Okay. Number one is, after a while, I always ask myself the question. I get very introspective and I think to myself, like not in a way that like puts me down, or not in a way that will drop my confidence in myself or my ability to produce and move forward. I ask myself, what am I sucking it up on? What excuses am I having external? What are the things that I don't feel like I'm secure enough on? All right. I just joined Russell's Inner Circle. Okay. I'm super excited. After 4 years of having that goal, I finally did it. I'm so excited, you guys. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. Maybe like 3 years. But anyway, I just did it. I'm so excited. You know the internal insecurity that I felt as I realized that? Oh my gosh, am I good enough for this group? Right? I battle it too. And as you look back and start to walk through, right, vehicle, what about this vehicle am I not believing works well, right? I automated my webinar and I probably did a little bit too fast, but I'm going back because I don't want to question the process. I know the process works, so I'm marrying the process. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to I'm going to rehash my entire script. I'll probably spend a couple of days just on my script again, right? Another couple of days just on the offer again. Another couple of days just on the funnel again. I'm probably spend probably the rest of April just on this webinar and obsessively, I mean, ridiculously. Okay. Cause get introspective and break and rebuild your own beliefs. If you can do that, you don't need some outside source to bring you into a new opportunity for just your own self. Oh, it's ridiculous. Your speed increases like crazy. One of the things when I got hired, and I realized like, holy crap, I get to sit next to Russell Brunson. What? And I was freaking out. I was already a Russell Brunson fanboy, but one of the things I was careful to do, please understand, I'm not like trying to be showboaty when I say this. I just want to pass on some lessons of things I've learned. Okay. Well, one of the things I learned is I made it a very, I know that growth doesn't come with some kind of pain, growing pain, not like bad masochist kind of pain. I'm not asking to be, obsessive over pain, but it's like the law of growth. Like you got to experience something that's new, a little bit uncomfortable to get the growth. And so I was like, how can I increase my speed next to Russell? And so I was very careful when I first got hired there to every day, you can ask him, it's pretty much every day I walked up to him and I said, Russell, what are you not looking forward to doing today? Give it to me. I'll do it. He's like, what? And the first few times I asked it, he's like, oh, okay. And I don't think he believed me. And I asked him every day and I said, Russell, give me your hardest thing. And he's like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm serious. Make it hard, coach. And that's what I always told him. It's like, make it hard, coach. And he'd be like, all right, sounds good. It sounds good. He's like, I really don't want to do this. And I'd be like, crap, I don't either, but it'll give me growth. And so I just did it. Right. And it'd be like, hey, I really need you to do this. Oh, crap. Right. It's those times when I built like 167 funnels and it was like 5 days. Right. I was not looking forward to that. Okay. That's not what the purpose was, though. Screw my own feelings, whatever. I want the growth. Okay. And so ask yourself that. Okay. Make it hard, coach. And so that's what I'm trying to do to you. And if you come with this willing attitude about it and you get introspective about it, your speed increases like crazy. And so I asked myself that question, and it's been super fun. Now I've hired my first employee. He's moving out here in a month. I'm super excited. He's going to work right in here. In fact, that's his desk there in the box. I got to go build it soon. But it's kind of fun, guys. He's been doing that with me, and he walks up and he goes, "Hey, what's the hardest thing? What are you not looking forward to doing today? What's the thing that you really don't want to get done? Let me have it. Give it to me. Make it hard, coach." And it's super fun, guys. And I had to learn this attitude. I was not always like this A-type personality. Remember, I was like this super shy kid that couldn't get anything freaking done, and I didn't do much. I played video games like a beast. For a lot of times, and I started dabbling over in this business area, and I almost got kicked out of high school because I started selling all these random knickknacks. That's an interesting story. But like, you got to understand, like, these are learned traits. Okay. I take this from a guy who was so shy. I would get anxiety talking to adults. Okay. So learn to ask that. Make it hard, coach. Give the hardest thing and be like, for the sake of the growth, I'll take it. Right. And I'm trying to teach my kids this. They're only 4 and 2, but like, I'm trying to teach them that. So if that's the first thing. Okay. Be willing to go through a little bit of discomfort for insane, ridiculous, exponential growth. It's not a linear curve that you'll experience. At first, there won't be that much growth. And then all of a sudden things will start to click at a level that you're like, whoa, how can I do this? How can I do this? Right? It's because I asked those questions. I started publishing, right? How is it that I was the employee that replaced Russell on stage when he couldn't do it, right? Again, please understand, I'm not like, I'm not saying that, but why? As the guy that was so shy, why does it work? Why did that happen? Right? It's because I was willing to go through the discomfort, and I still am. And I feel so outclassed. I'm so honored to be in Russell's inner circle. I can't even tell you. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like it's like when I walk into the room, it's like, wow, like, the president walking in, like, whoa, that's crazy. And it's that level of emotion for me. And I'm just keenly honored to be a part of it because of the growth I know will experience. And if I can walk out in front of that group and be vulnerable and say, I'm doing well at this, I'm sucking it up on this, and there's this whole other area I know that I'm not good at. Right? You approach your audience that way. You approach your coaches that way. You approach your own life that way, and you get introspective like that. And you go through this material and you're like, I'm not going to question the process. Let me just experience the growth, whatever that happens, whatever happens. And you get that little internal, like, crap, what did I just commit to? Your growth is going to go through the roof. I remember I had that experience, when I went to basic training for the Army. It's just like, there's a lot of things that Hollywood just very illy displays about what the military is and the Army displays. But this was accurate, okay? That moment where they always show the drill sergeant getting on the bus, get off my bus. The moment that dude walked up, I had this immediate thought to myself, what the freak did I just get myself into? Are you serious? I'm married. I have a kid. I'm in college. Everyone else here is 17. I'm in basic training. Oh my gosh. Like, maybe it'd be good if I got hurt and I got sent home, like, like doing push-ups, running all over the place, blah, 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 like doing all this stuff. And what I had to realize was, like, I had to get myself, I had to do this mentally. It was this conscious decision. It did not happen without me purposely deciding it. Okay. To sit back and go, okay, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. Okay. But I said yes. And I know I like the outcome of it. And its speed grew. I already had this mentality, but it developed it further. This mentality of just like, let me grab it, take the hill, baby. Right? Let yourself get into that mode. Okay. For you to lead a group of people in your community means you must be a leader. Okay. And I'm trying to get you to that spot. So I'm not here to make it comfortable, but I'm here to make you grow. And I'm your friend, but I want you to, especially those new people who, hundreds of people who are about to come in this program, you've got to understand that is why I'm here. Okay. And so, yes, I will look at your funnel. Yes, I will look at your headline. Yes, I will do this, but not until I know you have exhausted all resources that you have. Okay. Because I will rob you. I will rob you of you going through the motions. And if your brain's never been to these places before, you're like, I don't know what the freaking vehicle belief is. Good. Don't move on. Don't look for a distraction. Let your head sit there And funny thing about questions invite revelation. Questions invite revelation. Okay. So don't change the question. Keep your head in that question. Oh, Stephen, I haven't figured out this perfect webinar script. I feel like I'm doing well on this. Stephen said publish. I don't freaking want to. Oh my gosh, are we gonna do X, Y, and Z? Like, don't change the question. You let yourself sit in that pressure cooker. Okay, you're a piece of coal, guys. I'm trying to make you in a diamond, but it doesn't happen with a lot of pressure. A little bit of angst, poosh, diamond. Okay, and it's not going to happen for a while for a lot of you. For a lot of you, if you've already gotten used to that mentality, you got to be a leader. Okay, and if you're not A-type personality, if you're not like a shark, that's fine. I'm not telling you have to be, but you will have to be a leader. Okay, and your speed will be drastically affected by how much you are willing to expose yourself to as the actual protagonist, the leader, the person who's trying to be on the forefront, the person, new niche, right? New niche, create a new opportunity, right? That's not going to happen by someone who's just kind of accidentally meaning to do it, right? You got to be purposeful. And so I'm trying to teach you more of that from the experience and from the eyes of a guy who was so shy, I could barely talk to my own parents sometimes, okay? Which is true. And it was not comfortable. It was not comfortable for a little while. But if I can give you the 30,000 foot view and the foresight to realize where you're taking the ship and realize what the outcome of what that eventually means, okay? When you're in the middle of it, it feels like that's all there is. And it feels overwhelming, like, crap, when is this going to end? Oh my gosh, it sucks, right? But if I can keep that vision, right, of what that expert vision of where you're taking the ship, oh man, the world gets away. This is going to be so much easier. Meaning that you will not shortcut the experience of having to go through it, but you might shortcut the amount of time it takes you to get through it. You'll still experience it, but it might be faster because you have the foresight of where you're actually taking this thing. Okay. That was number one. Okay. Number two, what I need you to do, and I need you to understand, guys, I failed out of college my first semester. Okay. I was what you call street smart, not book smart. Okay. I literally got straight F's. I got kicked out of college. I had to go, and 4 years later had to reapply. Okay. Which is why I'm 29. And I graduated when I was 28. Okay. I turned 30 in like 3 weeks. Okay. And what I did is, I haven't even graduated for 2 years yet. And I came back into college and I got almost straight A's the entire time, the rest of the way out. So what happened? Okay. What you got to understand is, first of all, I'm religious and I asked for God for help for that. And there's not a doubt in my mind that was a huge piece of it. The second thing that I did though is exactly the first thing I told you, which is I let myself feel the pain of realizing that I didn't know how to learn. And then the third, or self-teach. I did not know how to self-teach at all. Okay. The third thing that I did, and this is super key. If I can get you guys to do this, this is the other aspect that will increase your speed. Okay. Huge speed. Okay. If I can get you to increase your speed by number 3 here, this is what it is. Okay. Number 3, this is the speed piece. Okay. Every time that you learn something, okay, there's a really fascinating book. Here it is. Really fascinating book called The Definitive Book of Body Language. I love this book. It's awesome. I totally use it on you guys all the time when I'm talking to you. Okay. Fascinating book. I believe maybe like half of it. You know what I mean? Some of it gets a little out there, but I don't think you can control other people and the actual actions, but I think you can drastically influence what they do. Your own body language and their body language will tell you a lot about what they're thinking. Anyway, great book. And anyways, it talks about in there, one of the things you got to understand is that when you're in a classroom setting or when you're learning, who do you think learns more? Those who sit at the front of the room or those who sit in the back and to the sides a little bit? No wonder, right? Those in the front of the class. Okay. Those who sit in the front of the class, the retention is it's like 2 or 3 times higher, right? They are there with the intent to learn. They are there with the intent to be taught. They are there with the intent. So I started sitting in the front of every class as much as I could. I participated like a beast. Probably was that annoying student even for sometimes. Okay. But the thing that I did that was, anyways, that book talks about it a little bit. That's why I brought that book up. The thing that I did that really, really, really made me speed up my learning process was the moment I learned something that was like, typically anything, but the moment I learned something that I was like, oh my gosh, epiphany. That's how that works. I immediately found somebody to teach it to, because I knew that if I could articulate it and teach it back to somebody else, it meant that I knew it. And in the process of me teaching it, it was not uncommon for me to sit back and go, wait, what was that thing again? He said this, this, and this. And it helped me realize and develop a skill set of looking back at what someone taught me, and I could understand it and then spit it back out. That's exactly what I'm doing on my podcast, you guys. Okay. That's where I'm learning that stuff. That's exactly what I'm doing. Okay. When you learn something in this course, okay, what I would do is turn around and teach somebody. I was listening to Stephen today, and he said X, Y, and Z, and it was crazy because I used to think 1, 2, and 3. What? And you teach it with a story. Okay, that's how real teaching happens. It sets the framework so that the nugget can actually be delivered. Okay, so you're teaching that story, or you're telling the story, and then at the end you're delivering the nugget. Okay, if you just tell the nugget, you're not going to teach. Okay, they're going to go, oh, interesting fact, and they'll forget it quick. You've got to tell the story so that emotion envelops around the nugget and actually sticks inside their head. Okay, so what that's going to do is it's going to, number one, solidify the teaching in your own head, which will increase your speed drastically. Number two, though, it'll help you learn how to tell stories in a way that are captivating. And you'll see by the body language of the person that you're talking to. If their feet are turning away from you, they don't care about what you're saying anymore, right? If they glance away from you, they don't care. If they touch their lip, or they touch their ear, or they go like this, those are all signs subconsciously that an individual wants you to keep talking to them, okay? If they start crossing their arms, they're trying to create a barrier. They don't want to hear you anymore. If they put their arms behind you, they're fine with that. They're exposing themselves to you, okay? That's not always true, but a lot of times it is. And I'm reading you guys like crazy when I'm on stage at the fat event. That's how I know you're with me. That's how I'm able to keep you so captivated. I'm watching your body language. I'm seeing if you're creating barriers. If you're creating barriers, I know I'm losing you, okay? And so I got to throw a story in. And so the reason I can toss a story in off the cuff is because I've been practicing them, right? And when I learn something, I immediately turn back around and I go teach it to somebody else. So I would even go find on campus strangers, guys. I believed in this principle so much that I would turn around and I would go find a stranger on campus. And I'd be like, hey, this is going to be totally weird. And I don't care. Okay. But I just learned something cool and I got to teach it to somebody so that I keep it in my head. Can I just tell you real quick? And whether or not they said yes, I would just start telling them. And I would just, what I figured out was this, and I would go in directly into the story. I didn't realize that's what I was doing, but that's what I was doing. I would go into the story. I'd go into the story piece and then I would deliver the nugget in as small amount of time as I could. And it would just do enough to just sink my teeth in it just a little bit more, and it would stick in my head. Okay. So those are the two things I'm trying to help you understand. Get introspective and be willing to be vulnerable and expose yourself to the growth. Number two, you've got to turn around and start teaching it to somebody. Publish. Okay. I can't tell you how many things publishing does for you. It does all the things I was talking about. Okay, helps you be a better storyteller, figure out the message, figure out your offer, create people who are following with you. You're documenting the journey. You're documenting your journey. You're documenting the journey of the creation of your product, right? You're going through, you're practicing telling storytelling. As you're learning, you are teaching, which is solidifying in your own head. I cannot say enough about publishing, which is why we're making it a new model 0 sometime soon. As soon as I'm going to clean up a few of my things for presentation there, and we'll be ready to rock on it. But anyway,